Hello everyone, this is Miss Mayo, and this is a quick tutorial video on how to use our research guide. Again, this is just an overview, so if you have any specific questions, please go to the Pixie doc, which I hyperlinked on here. So you just click on Ask Here, and then at the end of this video, if you still have any questions, I will be able to respond to them in there. So the doc is divided by 2 days. Day 1, which is this video, we're just going to be looking at how do we find literary articles. The whole point of this is that by the end of day 2, you should be able to have 2 literary articles that you're using to support your analysis of the theme of Lord of the Flies. So I want to point out, because this is probably the first question you guys are going to ask, is where do we write what we find? Underneath the day 2 doc. So this is at the bottom of the doc. You are going to be writing down your responses in here. This doc is your own copy. Feel free to write on this. We are actually expecting you to write on that. That is how we know that you're doing the work. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to complete the do now. You're going to watch this video. You are going to then answer these 3 questions based on the video. The way through which you're going to be finding your literary articles, your literary criticism, is through the databases below. So I included a list of databases as well as open source websites where you can find articles that connect to your theme. I know you guys are used to accessing these at school. However, in order to access them at home, you would just need to use these passwords. So I just listed all the passwords that you would need to use in order to access these. A couple of tips on how to actually find literary criticism. When you're looking for literary criticism, I recommend the following. The first one is, when searching, make sure you include multiple keywords and switch them up. Meaning, I'm on Bloom's Literature right now. I typed in Lord of the Flies and Fear. Lord of the Flies and Fear gave me these results. I might find that I might get something different if I type in Piggy, or if I type in a different character, or if I look for a symbol that embodies fear within the novel. So just make sure you're not always using the same keywords, otherwise you'll get the same results. The next tip that I suggest that you use is make sure that your articles are critical or scholarly. Please don't use anything that says reference. So you're looking for things that say criticism or literary criticism in order to access your information. So you should see that the record should actually include where it's coming from. So just make sure that it is a literary journal that you are accessing. So it should list it under where it's from. The next thing that I recommend is, some of these articles are lengthy. We don't expect you to read through all of it. So just read through the abstract, which is going to be the summary on the top, or make sure you're reading through the subtopics. Sometimes a section can apply to your topic. And when in doubt, obviously just use Control F. So if I click Control F, it'll actually tell me where my keywords are listed. And the same thing goes for fear. So if I type in fear, it'll tell me where fear is listed under the article. So then that way I don't have to necessarily look through the entire article. Can you use Google? Yes. However, I'd recommend that you use Google Scholar, and it looks a little something like this. Google Scholar is where most of your articles are going to be located. Just a couple of things to note about Google Scholar. A lot of times they don't have full text. If you can't access it, then you obviously can't use it. The next thing also about Google Scholar is that there's all sorts of other stuff. So you see that there's book reviews, there's links to different websites. So just make sure that if you're using Google Scholar, make sure it's actually coming from a journal. So this green part right here, you should be able to see whether it's coming from a journal or whether it's coming from, something else. Again, once you find your 2 articles, please make sure you go to the bottom and that you include the resource and the article listed on here as well. And if you have any questions, again, just go back to that question doc and we will see you there.